from a motorway parking area in Germany for today's live chat. I am heading towards Stuttgart. I set out yesterday from Wrocław, Poland, and now I am here. I stopped here because it was raining and I don't like driving in the rain. Now, this is a live chat. As always, a usual warning, please keep the language appropriate for a family show. And so today I thought I'd address this thing about and find out what other people feel about driving. Now, it might seem a bit odd that I've got this site on motorhomes and or RVs in general, campervans and motorhomes, not much on caravans, and I don't like to drive. And that's not true to say I don't like to drive, but I certainly like it a lot less than I used to. And for example, when I was in my 30s, I could get in the car and I'd just go out for a drive for no reason at all. So I could do 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers, and I'd see that as a form of relaxation, have the music on, windows down usually, and then I thought that was great. Now I do appreciate that having something on loud, it's not possible here, although I do have, and I shall show you, I've got this rather rackety sorry, I hope it makes a racket. I haven't got out the box yet. There's this thing here, it's called Itineo, and so I'll be able to make a racket with this when I'm driving around, but because at the moment it's not very loud. But anyway, that apart, it can't really driving around with the windows down in an RV, in a 3.5-ton camper, a motorhome, when it's pouring with rain, is probably not quite the same experience. But as I get older, I seem to like it less and less, and I keep stopping all the time. Now, I only do one journey a year when I have to get from A to B in 1,000 kilometers. Hello, Jason, and it's this one. Because normally when I do things which I sort of have to do, so I go to Germany to caravan salon, I go to Germany for Abenteuer und Allrad, and but they're in the summer, and I just keep stopping on roofing, so that it doesn't make the slightest bit of difference. I can take as long as I want. But this, when it's winter and you sort of stop somewhere and you do a spot of tourism, whatever, it's just not the same. Apart from that, because I've found myself in doing all this stuff in Ukraine and all the rest, I've got a stack of stuff waiting for me, which I've got to do anyway. And this really sort of makes this a sort of a journey I've got to do in one go. It's not one go. It's now, I left 30 hours ago and I still haven't got there. And it was only 800 kilometers. So, it's that. Obviously, in a car, you can go much faster. I'm very conscious of the fact that the braking distance of this vehicle is much further than that of a car, and I drive really quite slowly. I mean, I might exceed 100 kilometers an hour only if I'm overtaking or something. And unless I get really bored, and then I might do it. But normally I'm chugging along at between 80 and 90, and that's it, and maintaining a respectable distance from all the other vehicles. And I don't drive cars unless I really have to. I can't remember the last time I drove. Oh, sorry, no, it was in Ukraine. I drove. Well, it wasn't really a car. It was a van anyway. Sorry, so I can't remember the last time I drove a car. And this is part of the how I feel. And I do appreciate that many of the demographics of people who watch this site, and most people in a similar age group as I am, and how they actually feel as well. So I'm sort of putting it, how do you feel about driving as you get older? Do you like it as much, or don't you? Now, I'll tell you about this trip. I'm going to the CMT trade fair in Stuttgart, and I'm based in Wrocław. So I was at my mother's place in London. I flew from London to Wrocław, where I picked up my motorhome, where it was staying for the new year, and then I'm on my way down there. So I will of course be reporting back from the CMT trade fair as things happen there, and also I'm particularly interested to show you what is currently new on the market. But what I mean by that is prices, because that is really prices and availability. I don't think I'm normally interested in new technology, but now because of the economic situation, it's prices and availability. And so I think I'll be staying around. Oh, all right. Jason writes, don't like manual gear shifts anymore. I'll get automatic next. Now you see, I'm different. I can't stand automatics. When I was in the United States, there was I only saw one manual vehicle. Saw somebody parked next to me, and he had a BMW, and it was from 1982, because I recognized it because I had one that was exactly the same, and so that got the conversation going. That's the only manual car I saw when I was in the United States. I don't like. The reason I don't like automatics is I don't feel I'm actually driving the thing. Now we have a contrast in what I've just said. I said I don't like driving, but then I said I don't want to be driven by the vehicle. So that may be me. That I have this problem. I do occasionally. I mean, in Stuttgart now, I'll possibly be driving some of the vehicles, and I feel when I've got this thing, which is, first of all, it's if I don't put my foot on the pedal, it's going to go forward, and I find that really awkward. And you've got these semi-manual, semi-automatic, whatever, vehicles, where you've got the gears and you've got the two pedals, and I find that as well. I find that even worse, and so I'm really, for me personally, I do like the manual one, but I do appreciate that comment. The thing with the manual one, of course, you do have to occasionally use the brake with it if you're sort of hill start and what have you. With an automatic, it's less the case. Although there are times I've had to use the brake as well on dodgy places with the automatic. Jason writes that. Oh, sorry, lost the message. Jason finds the knees ache and getting leg cramp in town and city driving. Right, I hardly ever drive a vehicle in the city. Hardly ever. If I've got something to do in the city, if I'm touring, first of all, I'll leave my vehicle outside the city, and then I use my bicycle or I walk. That's number one. Or number two is that if I'm, for example, I'm parked somewhere all the time, I use public transport. I hardly ever. The problem for me is always this: where do you finding a place to park a 7-meter long vehicle? I mean, it's hardly enough finding a car, never mind anything else. So that, I've always got that on my mind. Where am I going to park the thing? So I first chance to park it, it's parked, and then the rest of the way, I don't mind cycling if I don't mean cycling 10 kilometers or something, unless it occasionally happens that I must look smart when I get to where I'm going, and I've got a suit on or something, which doesn't happen that often. But if it's like that, then I will take it in. But in that case, I'd probably taken public transport from the very beginning, or a taxi or something even. I rarely take taxis, but it does occasionally happen. So that's how I feel about it. There's another thing as well I need to point out, because my last big trip was, London, but I mean, okay, before that, last trip before that one, London was by plane. I need to do a video on Ryanair, and in Ukraine, and the road conditions. And now I've uploaded, I think 2 or 3 videos only from Ukraine, but the road conditions, I'll upload more. The thing is, as the war is ongoing, I just don't want to put stuff up which may have some, there's lots of stacks of stuff I've got, but and as long as this war's on, I'm not going to upload it. So, but the conditions were in some places pretty horrendous, and the fact that we had the person who was doing most of the driving the vehicle I was in, was, in fact, he did all the driving there. I did very, very little. It was a professional drive. I mean, incredible. I mean, the how good he was at some of the places where we had to go through, and very, very difficult. And, there's no way I could have managed. So really, here in Germany, we've got fantastic roads, amongst the best roads in Europe. And I'd have to say, on what I've seen in the United States, the roads here are far better in the United States, and I can say they're far better than the ones in the UK, which these days seem to be far more full of holes than I recall when I lived there. So I've got these wonderful large roads, and I'm just not appreciating it. I'm trying to work out what the problem is. Why can't I get into things? So what I do is, I'm driving along. I listen to audiobooks mainly, or lectures and things like that, and I'm driving, and that's how I do it. Anyway, so and with a manual gearbox. So thanks very much for being here. I hope you found that of some interest. I do want to know how other people feel, what the other people think about things of this nature. And I do normally I like to show people around, but as you can see, it's dark outside, so you wouldn't really see a great deal. Not only that, earlier, well, it stopped raining now, but earlier there was rain, and there was a bit of wind. Indeed, I felt the wind holding me back a bit as well. So last night, sorry, I just mentioned this one. Last night's not fantastic Stellplatz. It was just off the motorway. It was at the Frankia factory, and the thing that happened was, a friend of mine rang. I do not pick the phone up when I'm driving, and I'm really quite sorry, I don't answer the phone when I'm driving, by the time I found somewhere to stop, and then I thought, oh, I'm too tired. I bet it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had a look, and I saw 3 kilometers away was this on Park for Night, Frankia Stellplatz. Super. So I went there. So anyway, thanks to everybody. I'll keep on camping, as Jason says. I watched a lot of Carry On films when I was in the UK, and so all the best from me, and I'll be back with some stuff from CMT Trade Fair this evening. I think there is a video in 3 hours time about drunk driving, and my attempt at drink driving. Well, it wasn't quite that, because I used a simulator, and it was I presume it was very realistic. I've never drunk driven in my life, but it was very well, anyway, see the film if you're interested. All the best. Bye for now. Thank you.